Hello and welcome to another snapshot video. It's been days in a row and I'm liking this. We've got a few more things to show you again today, and not tons of stuff, but some very significant changes. We're looking at 15W34D, and this time it's all about the weapons and balancing the weapons. The first thing I'll show you is something that's actually not to do with the weapons, and that's this little guy here. It's had a little bit of a change. What you'll notice now is I'm going to throw one just in front of me, but if you have a little look at my hotbar, you'll see that there's a white timer that ticks down, and what that is a cooldown. So if I keep pressing right click, I can't do anything until it's refilled. I'm stuck in a hole now. So that's pretty awesome. And I have a feeling that that's what Jeb meant about cool things in the snapshot. Everyone was thinking cold and snow and stuff, but I think that was what he meant. But that's cool. Definitely a welcome change. So I'm happy about that. So the real big difference here then is some weapons balancing. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hover over these and show you. Basically, each item now, each tool and each weapon has different attack values and attack speed. So if we have a little look, you can see here that the diamond hoe has 4 attack speed and 2 attack damage. Now it does state when in main hand, so I'm wondering whether they're going to make it so a weapon in your offhand on your non-main hand is going to do less damage. Makes sense. Something that's pretty cool, but we'll see what they do with that in the future. So the hoe's got 4 attack speed, 2 damage. The pick 1.5 attack speed, 5 damage. The sword has 1.45, 7 attack damage. The spade has 1 attack speed and 7.5 damage. And then the axe has 0.8 speed, but 11 attack damage. Really, really, really tough, but of course a lot slower than the others. There are a few things that I've noticed with this. There are a few things I don't know how you could balance them different, but for example, the axe here has 8 attack damage, a wooden axe, which is technically more damage than a diamond sword, but you will notice the attack speed is a lot different, and I'll show you why this makes a difference in a minute. I've got some enchanted swords here and some axes to show you what you can really get to, and the highest you can get is 17.25 on a sharpness 5 axe, and with that 17.25, you can in fact one-hit a villager, which just kind of goes to show how OP that really is. So we'll see what they do with that. But let me show you what this means. So what this means is the diamond hoe, if you remember from the last previous snapshots, they'll be on my channel if you haven't seen those before, but we've got this new attack animation charge thing. So when we select it, you'll see that little icon in the middle of the screen will start to charge up. Once it's fully charged, you'll get yourself a full hit out of it. So if we use the axe to give an example. So once it's there, we'll now get a full damage. If we are to hit something. However, if it's halfway full, you'll get half damage and you can figure out the rest. So what this means is, it means that with the hoe, we might get the least amount of attack damage, but we can attack more times at full. So what this has done is this has kind of balanced out everything. So in terms of all of the different items, the ones that do more damage are slower to get that amount of damage, and the ones that do less damage are faster to get that amount of damage. So they all even out okay. It still works out that if you look at damage per speed, there's a lot of this stuff around, and what I'll do is I'll put it all on the screen now for you to see, so you can actually get a visual representation of what all of this stuff means. But basically, damage per speed, we are seeing that the sword is still the most efficient weapon, but we are seeing the axe being very close behind that, followed by the hoe, surprisingly, and the shovel and the pick after that. Now, the hoe is the surprising one, as it does seem to do a fair amount of damage considering what it is. The other thing with the hoe as well, which is worth noting, this almost definitely will be changed, but currently it doesn't use any durability to attack something with. I'm pretty sure that's going to change, because that is a little bit overpowered, but then it is technically the least damage on a weapon, so there you go. So what you'll see is with all of these, this guy here being the most powerful, but obviously we can attack more often, just at a lot less damage, or we can attack less often, but with a lot more damage. So you can see the timing there is quite different to something like the sword, for example. It does recharge fairly quickly. Now, what you're seeing there is something that I think I've kind of broken. There is a few one or two other things. One thing I'm not going to be able to show you, so let me just explain that to you, is a special effect on the axes. If you charge a player who's holding a shield and you hit them with the axe whilst they have their shield up like this, it will stun them, and that little cooldown time you saw on the Ender Pearl will go over the shield, so the white bar will drop down, and during that time you won't be able to put your shield back up. So it's kind of a stun, which is very, very cool. The other one is with the sword, which I can show you. In fact, let's just summon a couple of zombies. And then if I sneak and hit it, you can see the animation there. But what that's doing is that's giving us a bit of a knockback effect. So let me had it at daytime because obviously the zombies were eating the villagers. But if we spawn a couple of these guys, what you'll notice is they'll get a bit of a knockback when you sneak, and you'll see that little animation in the middle, and that gives you a bit of a knockback, which is just a cool little effect. But I seem to be getting that animation every now and again, so I don't know whether you're supposed to. I think you're only supposed to get it whilst you're holding shift. But there you go. That is today's snapshot. Some very welcome changes as far as I'm concerned. I do like this whole faster attacking thing and slower damage thing. For those of you who are extremely mad and upset about all this stuff, you can configure this stuff in your server settings and all of that. So you will still get PvP servers that rely on spam clicking, as opposed to the ones we'll have now as well for other people who want to use this newer combat system. So as always, if you have enjoyed this, do go ahead and let me know what you thought of all of the new features. And of course, if you want to see more of these snapshot overviews, do go ahead and subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you next time.